This is Little Red Riding Hood from a 1904 edition of Grimm's Fairy Tales. This book is in the public domain and may be freely used by anyone. Welcome to a Fuzzy World Reading Collective. I appreciate you all showing up tonight. My name is Fuzzy, and tonight we will be reading out of the Grimm's Fairy Tales Little Red Riding Hood. If you want to read along tonight, you can go to library.afuzzyworld.net and download the PDF. Later in the week, we should have the video of this reading and also audio transcripts available at afuzzyworld.net. Let's get right into it. Little Red Riding Hood. There was once a sweet little girl who was loved by all who knew her. She had an old grandmother who loved her so well that she could not do too much for her. Once she sent her a cloak with a red velvet hood, and the little girl was so pleased with it that she would never wear anything else. And so she was given the name of Red Riding Hood. One day her mother said to her, "Come here, Red Riding Hood. I want you to go and see your grandmother and take her a piece of cake and a bottle of wine, for she is weak and ill, and they will do her good. Go quickly before it gets too hot, and do not stop on the way, but do not run, or you will fall down and break the bottle, and then grandmother will have no wine. Do not forget to say, 'Good morning,' to anyone you may meet on the way." "I will do just as you tell me," said Red Riding Hood. Her grandmother lived in the wood, a half hour's walk from the village. When the little girl came to the forest, she met a wolf. But Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked animal he was, so she was not a bit afraid of him. "Good morning, Red Riding Hood," said the wolf. "Good morning, Mr. Wolf," she said. "Where are you going so early, Red Riding Hood?" he asked. "I am going to see my grandmother, sir," she said. "Mother baked yesterday, and she has sent me with a piece of cake and a bottle of wine, for grandmother is weak and ill, and they will do her good." "Where does your grandmother live, Red Riding Hood?" "A long way from here in the wood. Her house stands near 3 large oak trees. It is very easy to find," said Red Riding Hood. Now the wolf thought, This little girl will be a sweet bite for me, and will taste much nicer than her old grandmother. But she would not make enough for a meal. Must eat them both up." The wolf walked along with Red Riding Hood until they came to a part of the wood which was full of wild flowers. "Look at the pretty flowers," Red Riding Hood said. "Why don't you stop to rest and pick some of them? Do you hear how sweetly the birds are singing? You walk straight on just as if you were going to school, when all is so bright out here in the woods." Then Red Riding Hood looked up and saw the sun dancing between the leaves and all the bright flowers in the grass, and she thought, "I am sure grandmother would be pleased if I took her a bunch of fresh flowers. It is still early, and I shall have plenty of time to pick some." So she left the path and went out on her way into the wood to pick the flowers. Each time she picked one, she saw others even prettier farther on, and she went deeper and deeper into the wood. But the wolf went straight on to the grandmother's cottage, rapped at the door. "Who's there?" "Red Riding Hood with a cake and some wine in the basket. Open the door!" "Lift the latch," cried the old woman. "I am too weak to get up." So the wolf lifted the latch. The door flew open, and he rushed in, sprang upon the poor old grandmother, and ate her all up in one mouthful. Then he shut the door, put on the old woman's nightdress and nightcap, and lay down in the bed to wait for Red Riding Hood. After Red Riding Hood had picked as many flowers as she could carry, she found her way back to the right path and walked on very fast until she came to her grandmother's house. As she rapped at the door, the wolf cried out, "Who's there? Who's there?" The voice was so gruff that little Red Riding Hood was at first afraid until she thought her grandmother must have had a cold. So she said, "It's little Red Riding Hood. Mother has sent me you a piece of cake and a bottle of wine." "Lift up the latch and come in," said the wolf. And Red Riding Hood lifted the latch and went in. When she saw her grandmother, she thought lying in the bed, she went right up to her. But she could see only her head, for the wolf had drawn the bedclothes up around his chin, then pulled the nightcap way down to his eyes. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what great ears you have." "The better to hear you, my dear," said the wolf. "And what great eyes you have." "The better to see you, my dear." "And, grandmother, what great hands you have." "The better to hold you, my dear." "But, grandmother, what great teeth you have," cried Red Riding Hood, who had now begun to be afraid. "You the better to eat you," cried the wolf, and jumping from the bed, he took poor Red Riding Hood and ate her all up at one mouthful. Then the wolf felt so sleepy that he lay down in bed and snored so hard that he could be heard out of doors. A hunter who was going by with his gun thought, "How the old woman snores! I must go in and see what is the matter." He stepped into the room, and as he saw the wolf on the bed, he said, "Ah, you old sinner! I have found you at last, and now I will shoot you." But then he thought of the old woman, and taking up a pair of scissors, he cut open the stomach of the sleeping wolf. At the first snip, the little Red Hood and then the face of Red Riding Hood peeped out, and as he cut further up, she jumped, saying, "Oh, I am so glad to get out. It was very dark in the wolf's stomach." Next, they helped out the old grandmother, who was still alive. After the hunter had shot the wolf, they all sat down and ate up the cake which Red Riding Hood had brought. Then the hunter took the little girl safely home. "Ha," thought Red Riding Hood, "after this I shall always do as my mother tells me, and I shall never go from the straight path again, not even to pick pretty flowers." And that was Red Riding Hood from Grimm's Fairy Tales. I appreciate you all coming to join us for the reading tonight. I hope you had a wonderful time. Once again, if you want to read along with any of the books that we've read at the library, make sure to go to library.afuzzyworld.net and join the A Fuzzy World Reading Collective today. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Have a great night. And just remember, you are doing a good job. We will see you in the future.